If you ever bought something that looked perfect on the hanger and somehow felt wrong the moment you put it on, it's not your taste that failed you. It's that no one ever taught you the order styling actually works in. And I promise you, it does not start where you think. Welcome back, my dear friends. I'm so happy to have you here, because we are starting something that I've been wanting to make for a long time. This is episode 1 of a new series I'm calling Style Foundations. In this series, I'm going to share what I've actually been learning in personal styling school, the real structured methodology that a trained stylist uses, not some surface level tips that float all over social media. Because honestly, there is so much styling content available online, and most of it is fragments. A color quiz here, a body type questionnaire there, a trendy aesthetic on Pinterest, and none of it adds up to a method. And without a method, you end up with a closet full of pieces that should work and somehow don't. So in this first episode, I'm not going to teach you anything specific yet. Instead, I'm going to give you the framework, the order I've been taught to think in. And because once you have the order, the rest starts making sense. Let me tell you the 3 things that most of us do that don't actually work. First, we start with trends. Everyone is wearing this jacket, everyone is wearing this color, so we buy it. And somehow on us, it doesn't sit right. I know, I've been there. That's because trends are downstream of foundation. And without the foundation, every trend looks borrowed. Second, we start with aesthetics. We go on Pinterest, we save 1,200 images of old money, clean girl, coastal grandmother, and we try to copy that mood into our wardrobe. But an aesthetic is just that, a mood. It's a feeling. It is definitely useful eventually. However, it is not a method, and it cannot tell you what actually suits you. And third, we start with body type. I'm a pear, what should I wear? I have a short waist, what's flattering? Body shape is one variable in styling. It is not the whole equation. Starting there by itself is incomplete. So the result is a closet full of pieces that make sense in isolation but never quite work as outfits. Pieces that look beautiful on the hanger but somehow look flat on you. You don't have a style problem, you have a sequence problem. The order matters more than the rules. Here's what changed for me when I started studying this properly. In the styling tradition I trained in, the very first question a stylist asks isn't what shape is your body. Of course, that's very important later. However, the very first one is what kind of person are you? Because clothes that contradict your psychology will always feel wrong on you, even when they technically suit your color and your shape. And I want to share something personal here because I think it matters. I have a clinical psychology degree, and I didn't become a practicing therapist, and I didn't go into research. For some time, I thought of psychology as a road I once walked and then stepped off of something I deeply love, but didn't quite want to go the traditional route. And during the last few years in school, I really got into fashion. Of course, I was an intuitive shopper and I didn't really knew what I was doing. However, I started trying to understand my personal style, developing my personal style, questioning how do I want to portray myself into this world. And that is how I've decided to pursue that further and went into styling school. And during my very first styling lecture, my teacher said something that stopped me. She said, we don't type our clients by their body shape. We type them by who they are, by how they live, by what they surround themselves with, by what kind of energy they bring into the room. And I had this strange moment of recognition. Everything I had learned in psychology, how to read people, how to listen for what they are not saying, how to understand what they need underneath what they ask for. That is exactly the foundation a stylist needs. When I tell you that psychology comes first in styling, I'm not repeating something I was taught. I'm sharing something I deeply believe. Two parts of my life that I thought were separate suddenly turned out to be the same conversation, although psychology is everywhere. In the school I trained in, we work with 4 core types: dramatic, naturalist, romantic, and classic. And each one of them is defined not just by how a person looks, but by how she lives, what she surrounds herself with, the way she moves through her day. We're going to spend an entire episode on this later in the season, but for now I just want you to hold this idea. Clothes that fight your psychology will never feel like home, no matter how perfectly they suit your shape. Once we know who you are, we start building the technical layers. And there are 3 of them. The first is color. And by color, I don't just mean are you warm or cool. That is surface of the surface. Real color analysis works with 4 variables: undertone, depth, chroma, and contrast. And each one of them changes what flatters you to some degree. We are going to spend an entire episode on this next, because color is the layer that most people get wrong, and it is the easiest layer to get right once you know what you are looking at. The second layer is line and proportion. We are going to look at how your body actually reads beyond the basic categories. We are going to discuss vertical balance, shoulder line, waist definition, line length. Because most of the body type advice you've probably seen online stops at pear, apple, and hourglass. And that is not enough. We are going to fix that in episode 3, without calling you any of those names. The third layer is style execution. This is where everything we've talked about, your psychology, your color, your line, meets actual clothing. It is the layer where theory turns into outfits. Episode 4. Here's why the order is everything. If you skip psychology, you will end up with technically correct outfits that do not feel like home. They do not feel authentic to you and like you borrowed something, like a costume. If you skip color work, you'll always look slightly off in photos and you won't know why. If you skip line work, you will keep choosing right outfits that look perfect on the hanger but do not make sense on your body. And if you skip style execution layer, then you will end up with all right ingredients and still won't know how to put a dinner on the table. Each layer depends on the one before it. That is why the order is the framework. So here what you have to look forward to. In episode 2, we go deep on color. How to find your real palette without an online quiz. And why most online color analysis gets it wrong. In episode 3, we'll look at your body, how to actually see your proportions beyond the basics. In episode 4, we explored the typing system that actually changed the way I think about styling. The 4 psychotypes, what they really mean, and how to find yourself within them. And in episode 5, we will actually put it all together. How a stylist builds an outfit layer by layer. This is just the first episode. In the next 4, we go layer by layer through the actual method. I'd hate for you to miss any of it. So if anything in this video resonated with you, please make sure you're subscribed. That's how YouTube knows how to show you the next episode when it's out. Thank you for your time, my dear friends. I'll see you very soon.